Okay. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Red Deer. Now, it's been my experience that when we take classes in this place, we learn about ourselves. We learn to find the joy, the peace, and the love in our lives. And it is really a wonderful experience. I am a practitioner here at this center, and it's my honor to welcome all of you to our Sunday celebration. And you guys probably didn't hear that on TV or on the computer, but we are singing again, and it is wonderful. So you will get a few songs through our service today. So yay for the mandates being gone. Now, we have let's start with the opening affirmation on the green sheet. Okay, that's loud enough. Huh? And together, please let's read. Today, all things are made new in this space of freshness and grace. I resolve to live each moment with an attitude of delight and wonder. The world around me is beautiful. All of creation is beautiful, and I am one with it. I feel truly and totally blessed, and so it is. Now let's, we have a few announcements. Today, after the service, we have our annual general meeting. If you have not signed your membership forms, please do so because you need it to vote. And we welcome anybody that's not here right now, please come in. The more the merrier. We have our Growing Spirit Circle. Word of the day is justice. Being just is finding the truth for yourself and accepting what others say only as their opinion. You think for yourself. When you are practicing justice, you do not gossip or find fault. You stand up for yourself and others. The affirmation for today is, I stand up for the rights of others and myself. Please repeat it. I stand up for the rights of us and myself. Now, we have another little announcement here, and we have a class starting. It's going to be for 4 Wednesdays, starting April 20th, from 7 to 8:30. The title is The Abundance Book. And our hosts are Gord Emelgar and Lou Clark. And it usually is very good and interesting classes. So anybody that would like to take any of these classes, I'd say phone the center. Monday and Tuesday, Tress is here at the office from 10 to 12, or send an email. Make sure you get yourself in there and enjoy our classes. Like I said at the beginning, it's really good to take classes. You learn so much about yourself on how you view life, and sometimes you decide that the attitude you had wasn't the greatest for yourself. So it gives you a chance to change that. Okay? Okay. Now, before I introduce our speaker for today, I would like to do just one little meditation, and I'd like you to all go within. Focus on your heart. Focus on bringing the Creator energy in full force within you. As you take a deep breath, go deep. Bring in the love of Creator, unconditional love. And as you breathe out, focus on releasing all the negative, all the aches and pains, all the little things that have bugged you through the week. Release it. Another deep breath. And go deep within. And know that as you listen to your talk for today, you will get whatever it is that you need. Food for your thoughts, food for your mind, food for creating balance in your own life, creating peace, and creating the energy of love in your surroundings. So just take another deep breath and come back to here and now. Release and let go, and know that you are filled with love. And now it is my honor to welcome Reverend Valentine to talk about the power of love. So welcome, Reverend Valentine.
Thank you. Thank you, Juliet. And thank you for those wonderful words and the announcements that you did and all the things that you do. And thank you for the singers that started doing the music today. That's really a blessing to have more people come here and be part of this church and be part of our spiritual community, because we really truly do need social interaction with people. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here in person. And those of you who are listening to us, maybe consider coming in person, because when you consider coming in person, you are part of the social community. And it's good to have that feeling of being accepted by other people and the people that are here, because we're all like-minded people. And when we're part of a social community, we have a tendency to grow and stay healthier. So there's another thing that helps us to grow and stay healthier, and that's my talk today, the power of love. This power has been given to us freely, and it's a gift from God. Therefore, this power is ours to give away freely. We have this power in us. We were born with this. So we have it in us. We don't have to acquire it or get it from somewhere. It is part of us. So imagine giving something away that you have, and when you give it away, you get more of it. And this power costs us nothing in physical coin, because it's a gift from Spirit. And like I said, that gift is in us. It flows through us. And until we embrace this power of love freely and allow it to flow through us and out from us, we are not living our life to its fullest potential. We diminish ourselves when we stop loving, or when we have excuses as why not to love. If we do not become an expression of this love, this loving power, it's as if we have not fulfilled our life's calling. If we embrace this power, we could live a life of unconditional love, total happiness, vibrant health, internal peace, and abundant prosperity. You see, this power has many things to offer us. This power is the basis of all that we are. And this power is something that we have to experience in our life. So, do you want to experience this power to a greater degree? You can, and the choice is always yours. But before I go on, I would like to ask you to point to yourself. So take a look at where most of you have pointed to yourself. You've pointed to your heart. So you already know that you are this heart power, this power that you have inside of yourself. When we let love be the basis of everything we do, we embody our God nature and realize our spiritual magnificence. Love is our connection to our source. When we give out love, that's when our heart is most connected to God's love, the love and power that created this universe. So do you not realize that there is so much power in love? And yet most of us give up some of the love that we have inside of us, because we've been hurt. But I want to go through what the Bible says about love. It says, we are loved because God first loved us. And we have to give love in order to know love and be more loving. When love is missing from our heart, we feel that God's grace is missing from us as well. We seem to lose our connection to Source. We feel separated and alone. And there seems to be no warmth coming from us or coming to us. Examine your feelings today. Examine why you do what you do. Ask yourself, do I do the things that I do when I come from a place of love? Or do I do the things that I do because I might be fearful or angry? So take a moment. Answer that question for yourself. Do I do things out of love? Or do I do things out of fear and anger? If we could always come from a place of love in every situation, if we truly treated each other the way that we would like to be treated, that would be love. If we would not hurt another intentionally, just so that we could satisfy our own selfish desires, that would be love. If we chose to see what is good about each other rather than what is wrong, that's love. If we could do all those things and more, just think how different our life would be, how different our world would be, how different the lives of the people on this planet would be. If we lived from that place of love, we would solve most of our problems, and we would create a better world for everyone. Today, let's make a commitment to ourselves to truly understand and embrace the nature and the intention of self-giving love. Love for ourselves and love for others. So I would like to take a moment to read what the Apostle Paul writes about the power of love. In Corinthians chapter 13, Paul writes, "Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It does not boast. Love is not rude or self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong, does not delight in evil. Instead, it rejoices with the idea of true love. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. But most important of all, love never fails." Those are Apostle Paul's words about the nature of real, lasting, deep, soulful, true love. He tells us how far we should go and be willing to go in the name of love. So let's go through the nature of love as it is lined out in the Bible. Let's see where we have to make a shift in our own consciousness so that we can be more loving. Paul starts by saying that love is patient. Think of the people in your life who aren't behaving the way that you would like them to behave, that they're not living up to your expectations. Those people who try our patience are the very people that need our love the most. We can grow in love by learning how to be patient with them, never giving up on them or rejecting them. You see, God is always patient with us. God never gives up on us and never rejects us. God always accepts us just the way we are. Love is always patient. Time and love accomplish some amazing things. That's why we should never be too quick to give up on someone. Time is always on our side if we send out enough love to the people that are in our life. So let's practice love by being patient in our life with those who try our patience. And let's be patient with ourselves as well. I'd like to share a kind of a funny story about patience. It's not quite pertaining to love, but it really is funny. Some time ago, my youngest daughter, JB, and I went to go and did some shopping. We were buying some groceries. And when we were going throughout the checker counter, the young guy that was supposed to check us out, he was talking on his phone. Now, I don't know whether he was trying to get some product for somebody else or find out where something is, but anyways, he was talking on his phone and he wasn't paying attention to us. JB was in a hurry and she was getting really irritated with that guy. Finally, she said to him, "Hey, can you just stop talking on the phone and check me out?" Well, the young man, he stopped talking. He looked at her, he looked her up, and he looked her down, and he said, "Yeah, you look great." This truly just annoyed JB more. But I couldn't help it. I started laughing. And then she got annoyed at me because I was laughing. Finally, he stopped talking on the phone and checked us out through the counter. And as we were going out, she was giving me heck because I was laughing. And I said it was funny, really funny, that how you reacted to him and how he reacted to you. And maybe he really thought you wanted to just have him check you out. You see how there's a difference on words? Anyways, as we were walking through the parking lot, she grabbed my hand and she started laughing with me. So you see, the fact that she had no patience and he reacted to her the way he did, he actually broke that desire that she had where she wanted to be in a hurry and get out and everything like that, because she ended up laughing. So the next thing, Paul goes on to say, love is kind. Love treats others with kindness even when they do not deserve it. We may feel they don't deserve it, but love always treats everyone with kindness. Love is kind. When love is kind, it's considered compassion. This goes along with the idea that love is not short-tempered. Many of us lash out at others when we are hurt, but love is not like that. Instead, love responds with kindness even when we're attacked. I know this idea may be hard, but no one said that true love was easy. Stop and think. Are you kind to yourself? And are you kind to the people in your life that don't listen to you sometimes or don't do what you ask them? Do you treat them with kindness? And the thing is, do you treat yourself with kindness when you make a mistake? Or do you sort of talk badly to yourself? It isn't worth that. Treat yourself and the people in your life kindly. Don't be harsh with them. Another thing Paul tells us is love is accepting. Love accepts us just as we are. We don't have to be more humorous. We don't have to be slimmer or smarter or better or richer or whatever else you think you have to be. If you are parents, it's important to let your children know that they are accepted by us just the way they are. When we criticize our children or we criticize their friends, indirectly we are criticizing our children for their choices. Think back when you were growing up. We did not know or were not exposed to all the things that our children are today. And some of us criticized our children and said, well, they don't know how to work properly. They're not socially apt or anything like that. But do you know that all the things that our children are stimulated by today and that they have been exposed to and that they have to endure, we weren't doing that. Nothing was doing that to our lives. When I was writing this sermon, I really thought about my life when I was a kid. And my parents had the values of work. So I became a worker. That's what I was taught to do. And I was taught to be courteous to everybody that was an adult. You see, I didn't start watching a TV till I was 9 years old. But today our kids watch TV from birth. They sit there, and it's not our parents that are telling our children what to do. The TV is telling them how to think, how to look, how to act, and even how to be. Our kids today are putting up with so much more than that we have ever done. So give your children a little bit of grace. Let them feel greater acceptance from you, and give them time to find their own way, because you know they truly will. I know this can be a challenge, but in time, love always wins. Be there for your children. Love them unconditionally. I want to share a true story with you about acceptance. And this may change the way you speak to your kids, or maybe even change the way you think about them. And it not necessarily is about your children, but it is about the idea of profound acceptance. A young soldier was returning home from having been at war, defending his country. Before he got to his father's house, he phoned to explain that he had a friend with him, and he asked if his friend could stay at his father's home. He told his father that his friend had lost both his legs and had started using drugs to forget the hardship of the war and the cruelty that he saw and that he felt. There was silence on the phone. The father took some time to think, and then the father said, "I don't want some crippled drug addict staying at my home." The son said, "Okay, I'll have to find another place." A few hours later, there was a knock on the door. The father was excited. He was so excited that he would see his son. He rushed through the door expecting to see him. Instead, there was 2 policemen there, telling the father that his son is dead in a motel a mile away. They gave the father a note left behind by the son, and it said, "I'm sorry, Dad, that you couldn't accept me for who I've become. I phoned home needing to know if you could still love me and accept me as I am. You couldn't. I couldn't live without your acceptance. This way, you can remember me as I was, not as I am. Because I am that soldier that I talked about. I lost my legs and got addicted to drugs because of the pain. So please remember me as I was, not as I am. I love you, Dad, your son." You see, we never know what our kids are really going through. We never know what the people in our life have gone through. That's why it's important to be accepting of them. All of us have a story about acceptance. A lot of us haven't felt good enough about something. Maybe we have not accepted ourselves for who we are or what we may have done. Or we may be having a difficult time with our children, our spouse, our family, or our friends. Today, let's really embrace the idea that love is acceptance. Let's accept ourselves and the people in our life just the way that we are. Let's stop being the judge and jury. That's not our job. Instead, embrace the love consciousness of acceptance. Love also rejoices. Love does not look to take away from others. Instead, love rejoices in what others accomplish and have. There is no way in which love, true love, is selfish or self-centered. If we really love the other person, we will rejoice in God's goodness for them, rather than be jealous or envious of them. When we are jealous or envious, what we are really saying is that God has not been fair to us, that God's unfair with us. And that's not the truth. God is fair to us. And love is not measured by what we have or have not. Perhaps when we truly love others and put away our envy, God will give us what we desire. If we are happy for someone else, we also flourish because of their success is part of our success. We are also told by Paul that love is grateful. Have you stopped to consider that everything you have is a gift from God? Your life, your family, your home, your job, your friends. Your very existence is a gift from God. And since all is a gift from God, we are required to share that gift. And when we live in an attitude of gratitude, we get more about what we're grateful for. So stop and think, what do you talk about? Are you grateful for the things that are in your life, even though they may not be so good by your opinion? Do you talk about the good things that are in your life because there's so much good? Or do you talk about the bad things? There's always less bad than there is good. But you know, whatever you talk about, that's what you're telling the universe you want. Because the universe doesn't know what it is you want unless you speak of it. And so many of us talk to our friends and our neighbors and watch those bad things on TV. And that's what goes on in our mind. So talk about what's right. Be grateful for what you have. Because when you're grateful for what you have, you attract more of that into your life. Love is giving. If we come from that intention, we find that God gives us more than we could ever have hoped for. Because the more we give to others, the more is returned to us. It's the universal circle of life. The more we give to life and others, the more life gives back to us. One seed of love, one thought of love always comes back to us multiplied into our life. Also, love is not easily angered and keeps no record of wrongs. If we are offended, cheated, mistreated, humiliated, or taken advantage of, our self-worth seems to be jeopardized. Sometimes when we have been wronged, our list of grievances grows on and on and on, because we hardly think of anything else. We just think about what's wrong, how we've been neglected or whatever. That's not the way of love. Love forgives. Love ignores the temptation to be bitter. Bitterness only hurts the person who is bitter. Love lets go. Love is the door to mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. How many times have you heard or been told, to be healthy, we need to let go of judgment and bitterness and anger. We need to be able to forgive, because we want to have good emotions in our body, not negative emotions in our body. Our body reacts to what we think about. So think good thoughts so that you can stay healthy. Love also trusts. When we trust someone, we are expressing our faith in them and ourselves. Love, like God, is not blind to our faults or to our weaknesses, but it just looks past them. We need to look past some of the things that we think are wrong with us or wrong with the people that are in our life. You see, we are spirit always. We're always expressing, learning, and growing. That's the beauty of this teaching. It teaches us how to be more accepting, more loving, so that we can grow, so that we can become more aware of the things that we need to change in our life. Love always perseveres. This means to look favorably on all things over and over again. Love never gives up, because love can conquer all things. With love, all things are possible. Today, be the person who takes the step into the intention of loving from love in all that you do. If you think you can, then make this intention for yourself. Be willing to come from the power of love. And if so, maybe we can experience a healing here today. Let's see if you can make this possible. If you are willing, please close your eyes. And let's see if we can have an internal healing. Think of someone who has wronged you, or mistreated you, or that you don't even probably like. Or maybe it's your child that is causing great conflict in your life. Or maybe it's even yourself, because you don't like the way you behaved in the past or in a particular situation. Feel that pain that you have been carrying around with you and be willing to release it. Now ask yourself, how does God see this situation from a place of love? Ask yourself, what would God find lovable about this person or this situation? Go past the experience and the behavior. There is always something good in each person. Find that good. Accept that good. Accept what was or is. Forgive and go to a place of love. In finding that good, we are experiencing the power of love through us. Just be with yourself for a moment. Ask God to bless and heal that situation, or heal the thing that you have going on with the other person or yourself. Then when you are ready, please open your eyes. I want to explain a really great healing that I had, and it took a long time to have that healing. For very many years, most of you know, I disliked my stepfather. I didn't even speak to him or anything like that. And he did pass away before I actually experienced a healing. And it was still very hard for me to let that go. But one day, I was looking through a bunch of old pictures, and I found a picture of my stepfather. And the picture was on the immigration papers that we had when we came to Canada. And I looked at that picture and I realized that that person was only 29 years old when he came to Canada. And as I looked at that picture and I thought about that, even though I disliked this person immensely, I realized that if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for the drive and the courage that he had to take my mother and this kid and bring us to Canada and work on a farm for 2 years as slave labor, I would not be here. I would have stayed in Austria or somewhere else because I lived in a refugee camp. And when I looked at that picture and studied that picture and realized that he did the best he could at that time. So really that was a profound healing for me, an honest, profound healing for me. But until that happened, I still had this revenge for him. I still had the desire to hurt him, even though he was gone. So that idea of healing something is so profound for us and so liberating. So if you can find a way to have that healing happen in your life, know that that is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. Let's use this great power that we all have, this great power of love. It's the greatest power that we all have to change our life and to change the conditions in our life. Remember, what we put out grows and it comes back to us multiplied. So what is it that you want to grow in your life? Do you want to grow love and joy or fear and sorrow? I know my choice is love, and I really do believe that that's your choice also. The intention of love starts with you and me. So if love beckons you, follow it. When the arms of love embrace you, yield to them. When love speaks to you, listen to it. When love directs the course of your life, let it. Give thanks for another day of living and loving. And as you embrace love's ecstasy, know that love asks nothing of you. It only desires to give of itself, so that you may experience the wonders and the blessings of love. Today, are you willing to live in that power of love? Are you willing to embrace that power of love just a little bit more? If so, say yes to love and let it flow through your life so that you can be the expression of your greatest self, the expression of love. That is the power of love. And like Emmett Fox said in his poem that you have in your program, the last parts of the poem say, if only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. So you can take that poem home and look at it daily. Read it over and over. Embody the words of that poem. If you do that, you can truly change your life. If you only could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. This morning, let's say yes to love for ourselves and everyone who journeys through our life with us. And so it is. Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Reverend Tress if she'd like to come up and close our service.
Thank you, Reverend Valentine. Wonderful words. And if you like, you can share in your prosperity financially. You can actually give a check or you can give online, but your being here is giving as well. So please repeat with me on our blue sheets, our prosperity affirmation. The nature of our universe is abundance, and so I know that my world and each individual life partakes of that bounty to the extent that we believe and accept it. I make the choice to believe deeply and to receive freely. I give freely too, and I prosper in all things, and so it is. I want to remind you that there is refreshments after today's meeting, as well as our annual general meeting and a board meeting to follow if you wish to attend. Now, please join me in our closing affirmation. I go about my daily affairs knowing that God is good, and so am I. I partake wisely and joyously of all good. I know that the truth of my being is spirit, and spirit speaks from that sweet, sacred place within. I live from that place, from the divine of me. Life is truly wonderful, and so it is. And I would like to do my own little treatment here, a prayer treatment. Just close your eyes if you wish. Know with me that there is one divine universal mind, and that mind is in, as, and through each and every one of us here. Divine mind is there, always part of us, and I see the beauty and recognize the beauty in each and every one here. And I know that the future, the very moment, from this moment on, is beautiful, wonderful, and joyful. For each one here is a divine gift from the divine mind, God, and express who they truly are. And together we say, and so it is. And thank you.